Who ruined your family Christmas this year, and what did they do? My ex divorced me this year, finalized on what would have been my 11th year anniversary. She took the kids and moved 900 miles away. I'm so sad all the time now. Even having my kids with me for Christmas, I feel empty. All I want is my family back. My mom decided that it's better for her and me that she is going to spend these holidays with her much younger boyfriend, 15 to 17-year difference, in another city while her second husband, my stepdad, is in a different country trying to work for us so he can help us with money and shit. So here I am, barely 18, spending my first Christmas and New Year's Eve alone. My cousin exposed our entire extended family of generational abuse and trauma, and like a good old traumatized family, all the adults carried on like normal and the kids are seeking therapy. I was planning to go spend Christmas with my mom and dad this year after my 9-year engagement broke off just before Christmas. I just moved out, so I'm alone for the first time in 9 years. Then my dog got a stomach bug. He woke me up 3 times at night to go outside for a poo. He usually sleeps through the night no problem, and I discovered a pile of puke on his dog bed. It's not his fault, but I don't know if I can go anywhere today. My wife. A couple weeks ago she broke the news to me that she had an affair at the beginning of this year, and wants a divorce. My cousin, who bought chic filet so he wouldn't have to eat our homemade meals, announced upon arriving he wasn't helping with anything, tried to trip acid all day on Christmas Eve, got drunk before noon by himself on that same day when I told him no Christmas hallucinogens, and drunkenly screamed in my face when I told him to clean up his dishes and beer cans. It's Christmas morning and I can hear my nephew, who lives in the apartment downstairs, throwing a temper tantrum because he thinks his sister got larger gifts from Santa this year. His dad, are you joking right now? You better be joking. Say just kidding. Oh my God, tell me he's kidding. It's 8 a.m. My body, I guess. I have a condition that is rapidly worsening, and on Christmas Eve my doctor told me it's gotten so bad I may need to be in urgent care at the hospital on Tuesday. It's all I've been thinking about. I can't even sleep. You decide. My dad was hospitalized for alcoholism recently and now he's home. I'm the only family member left who will take care of him and help organize his care/life since my brother doesn't have any capacity to care whatsoever and is off having a happy little Christmas of his own. I came to spend Christmas with my dad even though he's in a bad mood and argumentative about things. He has carers that come in 4 times a day between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. which does not change over the holidays. I found that 2 expensive items have been stolen from his house last night. There are only carers that come in so it must have been them. Had 2 hours sleep last night because my dad has searing toothache and today I've had to call the medical care line to book a dental appointment for Sunday for him, so we'll have to extend my stay with him to take care of that and get him there, even though I can't drive. There's no Christmas dinner, nothing special at all, and I'm very tired. Not this year, but last year my older sister was being a bitch and talking down to me. Seriously, when was the last time I even talked to you? My reply, I'm not sure, maybe it was at your wedding a few months ago. She got married in May, divorced by July, now sitting next to her new boyfriend that she's introducing to us for the first time. They left. My parents were pissed. I had a great time. Myself. Ate takeaway curry last night and got food poisoning, so I've spent the entire day at home hugging the toilet bowl. On the plus side, my abdominals are gonna look fierce tomorrow. So there's that. My kid's dog. Little bastard broke his leash and took off for parts unknown. He came back an hour later with muddy feet and a shit-eating grin like an hour of unsupervised freedom was his Christmas gift to himself. So it's not really ruined. My dog suddenly passed away earlier this month due to sudden onset aggressive cancer. It's my first Christmas without him. He loved Christmas more than me. He'd wake me up early because he knew what wrapped presents meant. He would lay by them waiting. He was such a good boy. My mom's denial of her bipolar disorder. She's in full manic mode. I traveled 8 hours from another country to be with my parents on Christmas. I was supposed to stay for almost 2 weeks, but the atmosphere was so toxic I had to get out after 3 days. I told them I'm leaving. I couldn't handle her screaming and aggressivity and overall nastiness. I want to help her so badly, but she flat out screamed to my face that she isn't ill, this is who she is. I have my own mental health issues and I couldn't take it anymore because she was pouring verbal poison into me every minute I was with her. I sat on a bus back home and arrived at 3 a.m. to my apartment, to spend Christmas alone. My dad killed himself in August. I cried at 6 a.m. because it's my first Christmas without him. Edit. Thank you to everyone who wished me well, and I'm sorry to everyone who also lost someone important to them and are struggling this Christmas. After losing my brother in May, then my father in August, I can say that 2020 is the worst year of my life. But everyone's comments have warmed my heart. And to anyone who is considering suicide, please don't do it. You are loved, even if it doesn't feel like it. Please don't kill yourself. The suicide hotline number is 1-800-273-8255. Please call it or talk to someone about it. My mom committed suicide in 1998. It will get less awful, but it's a long road. The only way forward is to go through it. You can, and you will, but sometimes it will suck a lot. I'm so sorry. PM me if you ever need the ear of someone who's further down the same road. Hugs to you. ETA, wow. I am overwhelmed by the upvotes, awards and replies. I wish this comment didn't resonate so hard for so many of us, and I'm so sorry for everyone with this pain in their lives, and glad if my words helped at all. Please know there are always more of those moments of support and inspiration in your future. I know firsthand how hard the struggle can be. I also know that if we are patient and can bear this moment, it makes those future moments of less pain, more connection and possibly even happiness possible. Stay here and just breathe. If that's all you can do right now, it's still enough. It will get you through. Be patient and breathe. It's enough right now. I wouldn't say it ruined Christmas, but my cousin died by suicide almost a month ago and my aunt called my mom crying this morning because they have to do Christmas without her. Sort of put a damper on everyone's mood. To be clear, I'm not blaming my aunt, it's just really sad. My mom was crying, my dad was crying, it's just hard. When we have moments of joy, it makes me feel guilty because she's gone, and then I also feel really upset because I wish there was something I could have done. Just a sad time. My stupid fucking uncle. The story behind why I hate him is long and involved, but every year I hate him and my awful cousins just a little bit more. This year though? Fuck him. My 83-year-old grandma had been caring for my 88-year-old grandpa with dementia, incontinence, and legs so bad he could barely stand let alone get around. My grandfather was horrible to her because he was so confused he couldn't figure things out and lashed out at her. My mom went up and helped as much as she could, and I did too. My uncle never lifted a motherfucking finger, but made her feel guilty about putting him in respite care because of COVID. She was all alone, no outside help could come in because of COVID. And yet he bitched at her for even thinking about putting him in respite just so she could get a break from the 24-hour care. She eventually snapped and had a mental breakdown from the stress and ended up putting my grandpa in respite, where unfortunately he suffered a stroke and died a couple of months later. Did my uncle help plan arrangements? No. Did he go to my grandma's at all the day he died? No. Then he insulted my mom because she didn't personally give him the funeral plans even though my aunt was there the whole time and could have told him at any time. Then he actually whines about not having a traditional Thanksgiving dinner and made my grandma feel so guilty that she prepared dinner for his family by herself, 1 month after my grandfather's death, and did his usual thing of arriving 2 hours late, leaving her sitting there trying to keep food warm. Like she has to do every year. This year I said fuck that, I'll have Christmas here and you do whatever the fuck you want, but it will not involve guilting my grandma again to make a whole Christmas dinner for your selfish, whiny ass. Plans changed and me and my brother, plus our spouses and children, are going to my grandma's on Sunday. But could he leave well enough alone? No, now he's intruding on my nice relaxed Christmas with my grandma and I have to be forced to be in the same room as his racist, homophobic, selfish, whiny, immature ass. Saving grace is my terrible cousins will not be there. If he follows the same pattern as every year before, though, he will be 2 to 3 hours late and we will already be gone, so it won't matter. So it was a group effort of my parents. Last summer during quarantine, my mom decided to finally divorce my dad. My dad had been an alcoholic for a while, and 8 or 9 years ago my mom had decided not to divorce because my oldest sister, 14 at the time, would have had to be the sober adult on the days that us 3 kids were with our dad. Now that I, the youngest, am almost out of high school, she felt it was safe for us kids to handle the divorce. It's complicated and I've already rambled enough already, so I'll just say that my mom has had enough trying to make things work and my dad is in denial, thinking we can still work something out without going to a full divorce. He also blames himself for everything when it really just didn't work out. A week or 2 ago, my dad gave me a very emotionally distressed text that was basically an ultimatum, telling me to choose between my 2 parents. This gave me an opportunity to stop going to his house every week and stay with my mom indefinitely. Now it's Christmas though, and we're spending Christmas morning at his house so that he's not alone like he was on Thanksgiving. My dad means well, but he goes crying over every little thing and being around him makes everyone in the family depressed. Let's see how this morning goes. I'm on my way now. I did. I told my family our convicted pedophile uncle would never know my kids, and if he is there at Christmas, I wouldn't be, neither would my kids. This year will be a very quiet Christmas at my house because they all think I am a bigot. My mom. She hid the fact she has multiple COVID symptoms. I was with her all night last night. I only found out because I heard her on the phone with my grandma asking her if she maybe has COVID. I only agreed to come up because I missed Thanksgiving due to COVID being bad in their county. I felt guilt-tripped into coming home for Christmas, and now once I get back I'll be quarantined and have to take time off work. I found out my wife was cheating on me at 11:30 p.m. Christmas Eve while we were at her parents' house. I packed up my stuff, walked right by her family who didn't know what was going on, and drove 6 hours in a crazy rainstorm to my parents' house. So there's that. Lung cancer ruined my Christmas by popping up the week before Christmas. I've been an endurance athlete my whole life, no smoking and barely drink. All my COVID tests were negative. So we did a CT scan that led to biopsies. Got the results 3 days ago. I'm only 29 years old, just finished grad school and landed my dream job 3 weeks ago. Edit, you guys, I appreciate the kind words, I really do. Take a lesson from me and make an extra effort to be kind to the people around you each day. Life is too short to be a jerk. And life is too short to not help those around you who are less fortunate. Be kind to everyone, you won't regret it. My sister falsely accused me of rape yesterday from 5 years ago because I told my parents yesterday that she was physically and verbally abusing me for this whole quarantine. I was sick and tired of enduring it just because I was the big brother. Made me so infuriated that she makes something so serious like that up just to save herself, saying that was the reason why I did all those things. It made me cry so much and made me suicidal that my family believes her, and they had a messed up image of me. I pleaded my family to hire a polygraph test for both of us or a detective or something to prove my innocence, but she cried more and says even though it's hard she will forgive me, trying to avoid the polygraph test. I would never even think of the possibility of doing anything remotely close to what she was describing, and people who sexually assault others disgust me so much. Really ruined today's Christmas and makes me so depressed that my family now sees me in that way and is siding with her. Update, it's now December 26th and the issue has been resolved. I pleaded to my parents to please try and interrogate my sister again, 'cause her story kept changing with little details and she piled on more misinformation to make me look bad. There was an ultimatum for a polygraph as this was really causing a lot of hardship within the family, and she broke down and came clean that she lied in order to avoid punishment the first time. My parents and I cried together for almost an hour together. I finally could eat dinner with them, and I got to open presents with them. My sister still went scot-free and acts like nothing happened, but I can't even look at her face or go near her. Anyways, thank you for everyone that gave me advice, comfort, or just an ear to hear during this hard time. Happy holidays, everyone! Not a family member. My grandma is into spiritist stuff, whatever. She's happy and it's not like the money she gives put her well-being in jeopardy. We found out that the people to one she's been giving money for years is scamming her for a very large amount of money. My dad and uncles stopped taking her to that place, and they called her from the place and convinced her that her family wants to do her harm. She was very sour and barely spoke to anyone. That added to the fact that Christmas was a very small meeting this year and some of us were there for less than an hour. We're not sure if that can be legally denounced as scamming, and it's very difficult to talk to my grandma about that subject. People were bitter and worried. It was a very tense meeting. Edit. Yeah, spiritist or spiritism, a mix between a lot of faith in God and angels and spirits and such, and the belief that there are people using witchcraft to harm her. My mother got belligerently drunk, locked herself in the closet, and claimed she was going to end her life. Then she vomited and my dad and I were trying to drag her into her bed. She then proceeded to get violent with me and kicked me in the face.